Do you know how much money you spend on security? If you're like the average person, you have at least a rough idea of how much you spend on food in a given month, and you likely know exactly what you pay to keep a roof over your head. Yet, even though it is just as important as food and shelter, if not more, you are unlikely to have any idea how much money is spent on your personal protection. The reason for this is simple. Unlike the relatively free markets for food and shelter, the market for security has been socialized, and therefore greatly hampered. Because government is the dominant security provider, security costs are spread across the population, but the benefits are aimed at no one in particular. The results are very much like what happened when the Soviet Union socialized food and shelter. Instead of the long bread lines like the Russians had to endure, in America we have an overburdened court system where a speedy trial can take months if not years to schedule. Instead of empty shelves, there's a chronic lack of manpower that leaves crime victims waiting hours for help, if they are able to get any help at all. Instead of low-quality goods, there's a pervasive injustice in the system that sends hardcore criminals back onto the streets to make room for those who are guilty of victimless crimes.
A young boy thrown in jail as a 16-year-old high school sophomore. Now, more than 3 years later, this young man is free. Criminal charges completely dropped.
It is an outrageous case of justice derailed. How could it take 3 years for prosecutors in the Bronx DA's office to figure out they didn't have a case while a teenager sat in jail on Rikers?
To put it another way, if the security that government provides to the average person is adequate, then why aren't there very many government leaders willing to rely on it for their personal protection? How many of them forego personal bodyguards in favor of dialing 911 at the first sign of trouble? How many politicians refuse personal security detail as an unnecessary luxury because the local police provide such outstanding personal protection?
New York City resident Joe Lazito was repeatedly stabbed in a subway car within a few feet of two armed police officers who refused to intervene, until after the victim had subdued the assailant, an accused serial killer named Maxim Gelman. Despite the fact that Lazito was bleeding profusely from deep wounds to the back of his head, neither officer offered first aid.
Nope. What government actually provides is a false sense of security. When you need them most, they are not there. They are much more likely to show up in time to draw the chalk outline around your body than they are to actually protect you. Real security is a personal issue, not a public one, and it is best provided by people who have a vested interest in providing for your personal protection, not just a general sense of public safety. It is a problem best solved 1,000 different ways by private individuals cooperating with each other to come up with unique and innovative solutions.
My name is Dale Brown, founder of the Threat Management Center, located in Detroit. What Threat Management Center represents in general is how to properly manage human threats to create the most nonviolent outcome possible. We perform 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We protect communities here in Detroit, upscale communities like Palmer Woods, Sherwood Forest, and the golf course. We have approximately 1,000 homes that depend on us for safety, responding to them and their families and their emergencies. And we have approximately 500 businesses that are our clients as well. And then the people that cannot afford our services, we help them for free. And in 20 years, none of us have had a court date, and more importantly, none of us have been killed. And the most important, no one who's ever come to us for help in 20 years has ever been injured or killed after coming to this organization.
How much would it cost? Again, do you know how much money is being spent on your security right now? Is it possible that giving your money to government, an institution that spends the vast majority of your tax dollars on things that don't benefit you, is not the best way to see that your security is provided in a cost-effective manner? The longer we leave our security in the hands of government, the less secure we will all be. The separation of security and state is the beginning of real security and genuine liberty.